What is the procedure? In a plastic container, like the container that you have on the screen right now, you collect the sample of oil and you put a label on the plastic container, and in the label you mark the serial number of the engine, the model of the engine, the oil used on that oil, the miles or hours on the oil on the engine, and that's the information that you needed. Alright, with that information and the sample of oil, you send to the laboratory in each city, in the city where you are located, 100% sure that there are laboratories. Normally Caterpillar have your own laboratories, but those laboratories have a public service. Cummins also, Detroit Diesel also. 100% sure that in your city you have dealers of Caterpillar, Cummins. In those dealers they have laboratory to analyze the oil. Not only the oil, the coolant and the transmission oil. This table is available in my webpage. This is the table. You found another table similar to this one for coolant, and other table similar to this one for the codes. This table is adhesive. You remove the paper and you can post it in your minivan, in your shop. This table is wonderful because you have all the metal, the cause, the symptom, the solution, medal by medal, organized in a wonderful table. This is a good tool for a mechanic in your shop, in your office, in your minivan. Where you found the chromium? Yes, on the piston rings. Yes, the piston rings have a high content of chromium. What is the symptom? If you have problem with the piston rings, oil blow by and you have low compression. Yeah, that's the first symptom, low compression, and you have a little amount of oil entering in the combustion chamber, not too much. And what is the solution? The solution to verify if I have problem on the rings is the compression test. Chromium. And now we are going to analyze lead, PB, lead. Okay, and normally the concentration is in between 40 and 100 parts per million. Once again, depend of the laboratory. Alright, and where you found that lead? Yes, on the plain bearings. On the plain bearings, it's very common that you found the lead. And what is the symptom? Low oil pressure and knocking. Yes, my friend, remember, the bearings in contact with the crankshaft and the bearings in contact with the camshaft are the elements that keep the pressure recommended for the manufacturer. If the bobbin, if the soft metal is gone on those bearings, you have too much play, the oil pressure decrease, and you have knocking, and you have that consequence. And what is the solution? Rebuild the engine. If you need to replace the bearing, you need to rebuild the engine. Now we are going to continue with copper. Other important element is copper. Copper, the concentration normally should be in between 10 and 50 parts per million. Where we found that copper? Okay, on the bearings on the turbo. You remember those bearings, and the bearings on the small rod, on the connecting rods. That small rod is also in copper. It's a bronze alloy. Yes, in general is in plain bearings. And what is the consequence? Immediately, if you have problems on the turbo, you have black smoke, you have noise, and of course, in some cases, low oil pressure. And what is the solution? Rebuild the turbocharger in that specific case. On the oil cooler, remember that in this moment we are analyzing metals in contact with the oil. Okay, the oil passed through the oil cooler, and the oil cooler is fabricated in a special famous alloy. You remember that alloy? It's the copper nickel 9010. The copper nickel alloy is famous for oil coolers. This is an alloy with a low corrosivity. For that reason, it's used in marine environments. Okay, the oil cooler is affected. You have milky oil mixed with salt water. That's different like when the oil is milky, because it's mixed with it's emulsified with coolant. It's different. In that case, because it's emulsified with salt water, the odor is not good. The odor of the oil is not good, and additionally, the color is brown. It's specific when the oil is mixed with salt water, and this is not good because the engine is damaged internally. The salt water destroyed everything. I found it in titanium in the cylinder liners. And once again, you know, low engine compression if the cylinder's low engine performance, and you need to check the compression test and normally rebuild the engine. This is the consequence. Okay, we are going to continue with other elements, but we are going to start with additives, and after that we are going to continue with the contaminants. This is the first additive that we found it in the oil sample. Phosphorus. Oil additives, anti-wear. What is the symptom? In general, no affect the performance. No affect the performance, only affect the amount of deposits on the oil pan. And probably if you added too much additives, you clogged the cavities where the oil pass. You need to change the oil, flush the oil with no additives. And also because you have excessive wear on the turbo bearings, and the symptoms is too much lateral play on the turbo. You remember in the chapter dedicated to the turbos, I explained that movement, the lateral play. What is the solution? Rebuild the turbocharger. Send the turbocharger to the machine shop in order to replace those bearings. Those bearings are special bearings, plain bearings with high content of phosphorus. Those bearings should be replaced in a special shop, machine shop, with special tools, because you don't have the tools to replace those bearings.